So I wanted to bring up something that I think is quite timely, which is the difference in the public response to your transformation and the public's response to Adele's transformation. What are your thoughts on that?
I want to back up for 1 minute to say that it is stark from what I've looked at in the news and even comments I've gotten on social media and even conversations I've had in life. And it's kind of heartbreaking that I've gotten seemingly only accolades. You know, for every 200 comments on social media, there's a guy going, "You're still fat." And I'm like, okay, I can't win with you.
You're a dick.
Yeah, nothing I will ever do will be good for you. So you're not my guy. And to hear anybody say anything, look, I look at pictures of Adele at any point, and I think she's a pretty girl, an attractive girl. But I see the most recent, I think there's only one picture I've seen of her recently where she is ecstatic and she is glowing and she is doing a look at me picture, right? And I'm like, she's not nearly as happy in these other pictures. She's winning awards and she's fucking hot. She's a dope singer, like all of this, and she looks clearly happy, but she is not as stoked in those earlier pictures. So how can you be anything but like stoked for this girl and go like, I want to pat her on the back and say you did great. The fact that anybody can tie any kind of psychological bullshit that only exists within themselves onto her and say that she's harming people or whatever, I think is ridiculous. You know, she's a girl who had a goal, who made her goal or got as close to it as she possibly could. I have had that in 2012 or 11 when I was obsessively bicycling and I got what I felt like was too thin. There were stories that paparazzi would follow me around riding my bike and take pictures of the loose skin on my legs and write like the downside of weight loss and look at how terrible he looks. Like I experienced that. So I don't know what it is. I certainly wasn't as confident in myself then. So I kind of would see these stories and go, yeah, they're right. I don't look great. They're right. I couldn't argue with them. And this time I was releasing pictures of myself going like, I fucking fuck you if you think I don't look good. I know I look good.
First off, if anyone has the balls to come up to someone who now looks like you and say that, they're a very brave person, you know?
Yeah, I will crush you.
Yeah,
if you
look,
want
I've got two 50 cals, right? I've got one 50 cal in my left hand, another one in my right, and I've got a belt-fed machine gun chain of bullets around my... Don't fuck with me.
Yeah. I think girls have it harder than guys do as far as the aesthetics go, you know, which is maybe that's publicly because I know like guys with each other, like me and my friends are constantly picking each other apart, you know, and talking about bizarre things that really shouldn't matter, but they do matter to us. And, you know, how does your bicep vein rest at the exact center of your bicep, or is it cocked over to one side? And how do we fix that? You know,
well, we all know each other's pain points as well, right? Like, you know, the thing you can say to your buddy, like everyone's got that one lad friend who's going a little bit thin, a little bit early in life. Yeah. And you know, you can always be like, dude, just put something on your head. Like the shine off the top of it's killing me. Or you've got like the guy that's a bit short or the guy that's a bit whatever, you know, they do that. And I wonder, I don't know, man. I was fascinated watching the Adele situation unfold and the layers upon layers of people saying, congratulations, Adele, you've done really well. This is great. You're a role model for people to lose weight. Then there was the reaction that was big girls don't think that just because Adele's lost weight to conform to society's beauty ideals that you need to lose weight as well. You're beautiful too. Then there was the like third layer of people that were saying, how dare these people say that she shouldn't have lost weight? And I'm like, this is like Dante's Inferno. We're just descending through all the layers of hell here. Like, there are certain things that are unarguable facts. Obesity is an all-cause mortality risk. Fact number one.
Yeah, full stop.
You die sooner of everything if you're fat. Yeah. So anybody that says you, singer, in the public limelight, should sacrifice your health, literally sacrifice your life, your mortality, your risk of everything, to be a role model for other people to also shorten their lives, that sort of blew my mind. But on the flip side of that, especially when I contrasted that with your journey, I'm like, wow, there is something going on here between, is it because of who you are? Is it because of the industry you're in? I don't think so. Is it because of your gender? I think it is. I think the vast majority of it is that guys have a bigger Overton window, like a larger leeway of guys can kind of get real thin, guys can get real fat, and it's kind of just like, we're just still a bloke. You know, there is no beauty standard for men. There's like a hotness standard, but you're supposed to have like a long hair coming out your nose that you haven't seen once in a while, which, gentlemen under the age of 30, these random things are going to begin happening to you, where you're just going to find like an elephant hair in the middle of your forehead, and time's a cruel mistress. Like, all this stuff's going to happen, but you're right. Like, there's still sort of this beauty standard for women, even as you get all that Dame Judi Dench, you know, being graceful as she gets towards later age and stuff like that. And I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. What I do know is that I was real disheartened by women's response to Adele.
Yeah, me too. And men, but it's some men too who are male feminists who are like,
but yeah, man, it's
just looking to please some group by saying
they were
right
playing
thing.
the please the women game, yeah. But like, girls and guys were supportive of you.
Yeah.
The vast majority of guys that I saw commenting online were either commenting on women slating Adele or complimenting Adele.
Yeah.
But then the girls' side of stuff, I wasn't seeing much vitriol from men. I was seeing a lot of vitriol from girls. And it's like, hang on a second. Are we not supposed to be backing our own team here? Like, you need to gas up the people who you want to do well in life. Like, Adele is an amazing role model for girls. Yes, maybe that makes someone who is overweight uncomfortable at the fact that Adele was showing me that you can be both successful and overweight. But now you have someone who is showing you that if you are overweight, you can be in a healthy range. Not because of society's beauty standards. Forget that. Like, I'm not playing that game. I'm playing the game of you will live longer, and by the judgment of her photo, and as you identified yourself, this glow that she had, potentially be happier.
Yeah. I think there can be a lot of things that are true at the same time, which for me, there does become a level of subjectivity to health. So yes, if we are urging towards long-term survival, not being overweight benefits that. Sure. But at the same time, I go like, what business is of mine how people choose to live, you know? So I'm like, you want to drink, you want to do drugs, you want to drive your car too fast, you want to do reckless things, you want to get coronavirus. I don't really care. Don't fucking mess with me and don't do unsafe things to me, and we're good. And I know there is some argument that talks about the burden on healthcare with obesity, that it suddenly does become affect larger numbers of people. And I go like, that's too abstract for me. If we're talking about individuals, how an individual chooses to live doesn't really matter to me, and I won't criticize them. I've noticed quite a bit recently of young girls who, when I was a kid, you would never see an overweight young girl in kind of a midriff shirt showing her belly. You wouldn't see that. And I see it today. And the girls seem to have, I choose girls because I have 4 daughters, and I'm just more aware of their friends and like what girls are doing than I am with young guys. There is a higher sense of confidence, certainly, or a less of a shame around being overweight, which I think is a good thing, because I think that it's, for me, there was something about being introverted, and most of my eating was, which I do consider to be harming myself, self-harm, was being done privately because I was ashamed of it. And I didn't ever have the confidence in myself to try and change that until I met a girl who didn't seem to care about it at all. And then I went like, fuck, I'm worthwhile, you know, I'm going to do something about this. And it was kind of this kind of magical confluence of events that led me to be able to do that. So I wouldn't posit my ideas on Adele, but you see it quite a bit in people who become successful and then lose weight. And it's it could be part of that like confidence boost. When I have tens of thousands of private messages on Instagram, which I will never get through all of them. It's just not possible. And every now and again, I'll open it and I'll pick one at random. And more commonly than not, it's somebody saying, you made me less ashamed as a fat person because you seemed to be very successful and were a very confident fat person, which is not necessarily true. I was not a super confident fat person. And now that you've lost the weight, you've inspired me to also do that. That's like a double whammy.
Yeah, man.
Fucking don't I feel good about myself, you know?
Dude, that's so amazing.
It's amazing because I don't think people should be going around ashamed about their bodies. I think that's not necessarily good. And what my ideas are about health for myself, and even if I think about what I think is right for health for other people, I don't want to put that on them and say that anybody should or should not lose weight. However, I think more often than not, people have the idea of wanting to do something and then feeling incapable of doing it. And so to say like, you can do it, it's totally possible, it's some hard work, and here are these points of inspiration which you could draw from, I think is only a good thing. So I get very torn in many directions with like, of course Adele should be patted on the back. She's fucking did something she wanted to do. She didn't do that because somebody said she was going to sell more records or because her boyfriend.
You don't sell more records than Adele. She's already sold all the records. Yeah.
There you go. She got to a point in her life where for whatever reasons, and who knows what they are, she decided to do this and she did it and she's happy about it. And we should only applaud her. We shouldn't build our psychosis into her motives or anything else. I think it's not fair. And I don't know if the men are more give her more affinity for this goal because men are generally or statistically more attracted to thin women. I have no idea what it is, but I see the same thing as you. It's very, very disappointing.
There's just layers to it, which you said, and it's not just, this isn't just like 3 or 4 things being true at once. This is like 10 things. Yeah. 10 different things being true at once. And as we know, people struggle with complexity. It's significantly easier, especially on Twitter. You know, Twitter doesn't have the room, actually does not have the spatial capacity for nuance. You got 360 characters, something like that. You can put across like, Adele is fat, Adele is thin, Adele shouldn't have got thin, Adele should have got like, you know, you can only do a small number of these stories that you put across. But man, like, I think if you have got messages like that said, not only have you given me confidence to be successful at the weight I'm at, but then also to make that transition into being someone who is a more normal BMI. Wow. Like
that for me is the highest compliment I could have gotten, because I don't think people are going to be super successful at achieving a goal, a physical goal, out of shame. I just don't think that's true. Shame could be early impetus or whatever. I don't know exactly, but I don't think long-term success will come out of shame. I think you need to have confidence in yourself and your abilities and work more from that position. I don't know that a lot of these girls who are body positive have never thought I'd be happier. Look, for me, at the end of the day, I just want to fit in an airline seat. I just want to not have to ask for an extension, and there's no part of me that thinks they need to make airline seats bigger. I think those are built for averages. Now, as society gets bigger, maybe they will eventually. But like even today, the averages say that that's the seat. So you don't need to make a bigger seat. I would rather just have a body that fits in the average seat. That's all. You know?
I think there's two approaches when you see that happen. There's one person who says, good for you, and I want to use that, and another person who says, oh my God, this identifies my shortcoming. As long as Adele or Ethan remain overweight, that justifies my being overweight. If they're able to do it, oh, ball's in my court now.
Yeah.
You know, like one less fat person is one less person on team fat.
Yeah.
And one more person on team.
I think, unfortunately, that we seemingly move into the realm where the group kind of sets the truth, and there is less and less individual truth. And so, like, if I like strawberry ice cream, and I think it's the greatest ice cream, nothing you say about strawberry ice cream can alter my feeling about strawberry ice cream. So I don't see why anything you say about my feelings about myself should be able to alter my feelings about myself. But we've gotten into this space where the group can dictate how people view themselves. And not only that, the group must dictate how people view themselves. And I go like, you've lost me. I can't play that game. Mm-hmm. I can only know what's true for me. I cannot say what's true for you. I will not say what's true for you, but I know what's true for me. And you can offer a bunch of evidence that may alter my view of what's true for me. That's possible. And I welcome you to do that, because I'm always looking for new if I had just stuck with keto, I wouldn't have the muscle definition that I have now. I just wouldn't. And I'm so happy that I'm really pleased with my body right now. That could sound like the most fucking materialistic, vain thing to say, but I work my ass off and have been for 20 years on having a body I'm happy with. And I'm like just finally going, check me out. You know what I mean? Like, it takes the right lighting, but with the right lighting, I've got a 6-pack. That's fucking wild, dude.